Okay, this is chapter 4 from the book Straight A at Stanford, and this chapter is called Getting Started at Stanford. This is a little bit of a longer chapter. At Stanford, the average SAT score is in the 99th percentile. The average students in the top 1% of students. And the pre-med classes is even more competitive. The average students in the upper half of the top 99th percentile. Stanford's on a quarter system instead of semesters. So at the beginning of my first quarter over there, I was recruited as an athlete, not as a student. It's a safe bet I was one of the worst students in the room in all my classes. Stanford's the land of California valedictorians. Majority of the students are from the West Coast. A large number are from fancy East Coast prep schools like Groton. There's lots of parties at the beginning of the year. All these good-looking California guys are handsome, athletic, got nice cars. A lot of them are rich. They're all talking about their social life in California, their sports teams, their plans at Stanford. I was a total nobody. From Chicago, I didn't know anybody in my dorm. There was one other guy from my high school, but they wouldn't let us live together because they wanted us to meet new people. So on a warm day, being a wrestler, I decided it's time to get in shape. I put on my usual sweatsuit, the black hat, and in California, wrestling's not as popular as it is in Illinois and Iowa. All right, people would look at me like I was crazy. The black hat that I was wearing sort of flipped a switch, and they started making comments like, "Oh, look, it's a Chicago hood. Hey, do you know Al Capone?" And don't ask me why, but for some reason, California people always start bringing up these Al Capone jokes when I tell them you're from Chicago. And even my roommate, who was this punk rock guy, he thought that was funny, and I was in over my head academically. I knew it. I've been recruited as an athlete on a scholarship because the wrestling team was trying to build itself up. And before that, I'd been really good and was recruited by places like Iowa. But then once I was injured, I was no longer that good. In high school, junior year, scholastic style, I was 39-1, third in the state. I felt that with more coaching, I could really become good. But I fractured a growth plate in my clavicle, and I kept re-injuring it, and I couldn't even compete my senior year. My physique started to atrophy and disappear, and kids in high school kept saying, "What happened? When you used to be strong, what happened, man?" I got really tired of hearing that. I wanted to drop out of high school my senior year because I couldn't wrestle. I wanted to run away from home. My dad forced me to go to school. I was mad at him. I didn't know anything about Stanford. It was like a million miles away from Oak Park in Chicago. And I never even taken an honors class in high school. I didn't know what an AP test was. Actually, I took English honors, but it was kind of a joke of an honors class. The Stanford coach somehow heard of me, and he said, "Pete, we think you have the potential to help us build up our team. We'll offer you a 1/3 scholarship. And David and Mark Schultz, national champions, are going to be assistant coaches. Are you willing to sign a letter of intent to commit to Stanford?" At that moment, I was desperate. I wanted to escape from my life. I was so sick and tired of people saying, "What happened to you?" I wanted to reinvent myself. I wanted to create a new identity. I wanted to be far away from the people that tied me to all this misery and regret. And so in a moment, it was like Kent Dorfman in Animal House and Flounder when he said, "I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it." Just wants to be a part of things. So this was a chance to reinvent myself. A lot of times we have to reinvent ourselves after we, go through a difficult time. And I was excited to be coached by the Schultz brothers. They were the best in the West. They later went on to be world Olympic champions. As a matter of fact, Dave Schultz was like the Bruce Lee of wrestling. He was technically the best wrestler in the world. Just incredible. A genius of wrestling. And then Mark Schultz was like Superman. He was my hero. This guy was unbelievable. I was so in awe of him. It was just an honor to meet him and Dave. The movie about him has just come out called Foxcatcher. And it's playing now all around the United States. So Foxcatcher is based on the Foxcatcher wrestling team farm and the DuPont story. And it's based on the book by Mark Schultz. It's a fantastic book. It's awesome. He's the most intense guy in the world. To hear his story, how he tells it, it just gets you so motivated. All wrestlers and other people too should read it. It ups your game at whatever you do. Sitting in my dorm room all alone, day after day with no friends, commit yourself seemed like the right choice of words. My girlfriend, Carol, the hometown honey, called me up. She was back in, by Chicago, back home, and she says, "Oh, Pete, would it be okay with you if I go with this other guy to homecoming? It's my senior year. I really want to go to the dance. My friends are going. I promise not to do anything with him." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," obviously. Then I got injured again while wrestling, and it looked like I was out for the season. It's pretty sad. I called my mom. My mom said, "How's it going, Peter?" "Yeah, great, Mom. I got no friends. I don't know anyone here except the coach. The coach is mad at me because I got injured again, and he said he's sorry he wasted a scholarship on me. My girlfriend's fooling around with some other guy. I'm the worst student in all my classes, and I think I'm going to flunk out. But other than that, everything's going well." I started crying. "Mom, I don't want to. I want to come home. I don't belong here. I want to transfer to school in Illinois. I'm so lonely. My mom, Peter, I want you to listen to me. I love you more than anything in the world. I want you to do something for me. I want you to try as hard as you can for 1 year at Stanford. Just do your best for 1 year. If at the end of the year you want to transfer back to college close to home, then it's okay. You can call me every day. Thanks, Mom. I love my mother more than anything in the world. Said, okay, Mom, I'll do it for you. 1 year, but then I'm coming home. That moment I finalized the decision. I decided I was going to become the best student I could be. I would study until I dropped. I didn't know if I could make it, but I knew I could push myself. Wrestling has shown me that. When I was a freshman in high school, lots of guys were better than me, but I worked harder than them and got better faster. Junior year of high school, I pinned my way through the spring freestyle tournament called Schoolboy State. I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I can't be a great wrestler anymore. I'm going to try, but maybe that's not longer possible. I'm going to reinvent my identity. I'm going to make academics my new sport. I'm going to take all my sadness, my frustration, my anger, and I'm going to channel it into becoming the best student. I'm going to become a learning machine. I looked out the window. There was vomit on the sidewalk. Some guy got drunk last night and puked. I said, good. Go ahead, get drunk. Go ahead, go to all your parties. Go ahead, go home to your families, your friends every weekend. You guys, you're Stanford students. You're probably smarter than me, but it doesn't matter. While you're goofing around, I'm going to be studying, and I'm going to catch you.